Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another best card loadout video, but this time it's going to be for Tiberius. Alright you guys, so hopping right into this loadout, we're going to dip in with the first card, Crowd Pleaser. Generate 3 ammo after activating Combat Trance. Now this card, I didn't really think when I very first started using Tiberius was going to be useful at all. I kind of looked over it entirely until I actually realized after playing him, when you activate Combat Trance with Tiberius, you're able to go into essentially kind of like a full auto mode with his chakrams. Having this extra 3 ammo is going to make you be able to do a ton more damage. Each of these hits will do 650 damage. So if you do the math correctly, you will be able to do a whole extra 1950 damage. It is huge when you have this card activated. Make sure when you activate it though, you've already gone through some of your chakrams. Otherwise it just becomes kind of useless if you activate Combat Trance and you're already at max ammo. But we put this one to 3 points because 3 ammo felt like more than enough. Almost 2000 damage extra with Combat Trance. It is ridiculous. All right, moving on to the next card, Making the Cut. Heal for 120 for every enemy hit by Heavy Blade. We have this one set to 3 points. Healing was a big issue with Tiberius. He only has 2200 health, so you want to be able to get as much healing out of him as possible with every card you have. Using the Heavy Blade, it was just a moment of, desperation, kind of like where if you use Tyra, using her nade launcher is almost like a desperate ability she has. You fire it at the last second to get that little bit of extra damage, and you're possibly most likely in these situations on very low health. When you fire off that Heavy Blade, being able to heal for 120, I know it's not much, maybe you can hit 2 enemies, 240. That little bit of health will go a long way. It could keep you alive, and it'll give you enough time to let a healer get to you to heal you. All right, moving on to Bragging Right. Hitting players with bladed chakrams heals you for 125. Like I said on the previous card, getting as much healing for Tiberius out of him as possible is very important. So that is why we have this card set to 5 points. His chakrams are the most used item that he has. Obviously, they are his main weapon. Being able to get any kind of healing for every shot you fire off that hits an enemy is a massive plus. So if you're very accurate, this loadout will benefit you a lot. Obviously, if I could have put it to 6 or 7, I would have, but 5 is the max. Moving on to the fourth card, we have Instrument of Fate. Reduce the cooldown of Combat Trance by 0.8 seconds for each enemy hit by a Heavy Blade. Now this card, it was kind of a filler card, 0.8 seconds. If you bring this down to 1 point, it's only 0.4 seconds. It kind of becomes useless. In my opinion, 0.8 seconds, it's really teetering on useless. Like I said, it was a filler card. So if you find a different card in his deck that you like or prefer over this one, you can replace this one. It's entirely up to you. But being able to get your Combat Trance back quicker will allow you to go into that full auto mode faster. All right, and moving on to the final card, we have Test of Strength. Heal for 100 every 1 second while Combat Trance is active. Going back to, like I said, obviously at the start, this loadout is designed entirely to help Tiberius heal so he can be out there on his own. While using Combat Trance, you're going to be healing. So when you're in those intense moments, obviously when you do use Combat Trance, you should be in those intense moments. That's the only time you should be activating it. Being able to get healing at 100 health every second while being in those fights will benefit you, and it'll allow you to chain more kills together a lot more. So Combat Trance usually lasts, I believe, 4 seconds. So that is 400 health you're going to be gaining over that duration, which technically in a way brings up his health to 2600 from 2200. All right, you guys, moving on to my favorite part of the video, we have his talents. We have Predatory Instinct, Tigron's Fury, and Vicious Assault. The first card, Predatory Instincts, bladed chakrams are able to bounce 2 additional times before disappearing. This card, in a way, it was teetering on useless, like I said about that other card in the deck. Your chakrams being able to bounce an extra 2 times, it's not very useful in my opinion unless you're like in a building. If you're outside, you shouldn't even be using it in the first place. If it can bounce an extra 2 times, if you're not hitting your shots in the first place, I don't think you should be using Tiberius at all. So having to rely on your chakrams to bounce and get your kills, not really a good move. All right, moving on to Tigron's Fury, the second card, the card that I use. Heavy Blade now explodes on reactivation instead of recalling, but the initial throw does reduce damage. So unfortunately with this card, the initial throw does get reduced damage, but it doesn't really affect it all that much. Being able to have it explode on reactivation is a huge plus. You'll be getting a ton more damage out of your heavy blade, which will make your life a lot easier and you will not have to land all those chakrams. Moving on to the last and final card, we have Vicious Assault. Crouching Tigron now deals 700 damage in a 20 unit radius area on landing. Now for me, I do not use Crouching Tigron as much. If I am using it, I'm using it to get away from fights. I'm not using it to push into fights. But if you find yourself using Crouching Tigron to launch yourself into fights a lot, to like pop your ult, or just, you know, absolutely go ham on the enemy team, you can use this card. You'll be dealing 700 damage upon impact, so if you do hit any of those enemies within a 20 unit radius, you'll be getting an upper hand on them because they will have less health, especially squishy enemies. So like I said, if you like to use Crouching Tigron to launch into enemies and start off your fights, I 100% recommend this card. But if you do not and use Crouching Tigron, like I said, to get away, I highly recommend going for Tigron's Fury. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I will have a ton more videos coming out on this new season. I'm really enjoying Paladins right now and uploading on YouTube. So if you guys have any video ideas or would want to see anything in specific, let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.